Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. Hope you guys are all doing well today, or tonight, wherever you are. Today, this on my face here, I just cut myself shaving, so I'd rather look stupid with this on my face than my face bleeding, so in any case, what I want to talk about today is the evil that are narcissists. This is important to learn if you're in the beginning phases. Hey, listen, you may have come out of a narcissistic relationship, and what I mean is narcissistic personality disorder, or with someone with antisocial personality disorder, or borderline personality disorder, or it may have been something else that was just not good. And you're just, maybe you came out of that and you are coming to God because of it. Who knows, maybe you even hate God because of it. I always try to look at this, I don't know, everything I talk about, even this, which is evil, I don't, I tell you the truth here. This is evil to its core. And anyways, I'm going to get into that. And, I don't script these things. Not this anyways. It's very few and far between that I will do that. I'll do that for certain videos, but and I don't edit this. This, when I'm standing up here and I'm doing it on the Windows camera, I don't have that. So I think it's important to know about people with NPD and the trap that you can fall into. You heard the different types of personalities that can absolutely destroy you in your life. It can kill you. In many cases, it ends up in death. They might push you right to the edge. And it's very tough to explain to someone when you're in the midst of it what it is you're going through, because let's say it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, so-called romantic relationship. What's going to happen is you're going to try to talk to, say, your brother or a neighbor who is your friend, or whatever, just a friend, and you're going to talk to them about the things you're going through, and they're not going to understand because they have never been there. And that's not to say that they had stronger boundaries than you. It's just that maybe they weren't targeted, and maybe they do have stronger boundaries than you. The likelihood of that is probably quite high, but that's not always the case. As we know, many people have been taken by, I'm not just going to say NPD, because it's not. I feel sorry for people who have gone through this, or obviously feel sorry for people who had narcissistic personality disorder parents, people who abused them. And what I'm learning in addictions counseling is much of this stuff happens under the influence of alcohol. When you hear of murder, rape, and physical assault, go look at the stats. It's probably at least 50% were done under the influence of alcohol. And people with NPD and antisocial personality drink the most. I believe that's what they say. That may be other personality disorders. But I can't remember if that's just a personality of the personality disorders. That's the one they drink the most. They abuse the most. Is antisocial personality disorder and NPD. So I guess I'll just give you a little backdrop of my own life. I have autism, okay? And I never knew I did. I wasn't diagnosed. I was when I was about 43. I was diagnosed about 43 after I chased it. I went to an autism expert and I got diagnosed. And I started to realize a lot of things in my life that I had gone through. And was I bullied as a child, as a young child? Somewhat, yeah, I was, by one person. And it was because of boundaries. It wasn't that I wasn't, they never physically did anything, but, they tried to push you around, all that stuff. So yes, I experienced that myself. When I got older, that was different. But my boundaries weren't the best, and in any case, you have to learn them. I didn't have the best life, and that's besides the point. Yeah, like I abused alcohol and drugs and all that stuff when I was younger, and that brings you places where you're open to PTSD. People who drink and use substances are at a much higher, it's probably at least 3, 4, 5 times higher. You're open to PTSD because you bring yourself into situations that you wouldn't regularly go in. In any case, just give me a second here. For the people who don't understand, I hope you listen to me carefully, because what I'm saying is the truth. If I can find this video, there are people out there making AI videos, using people like Jordan Peterson's voice. You just can't tell, right? Because it's not them actually, you don't see them on video, but you hear them. Anyways, I listened to one. It was called Limitless Motivation was the channel. And I just decided to click on it and listen to it. And what it said was just, one of those videos where it tells everything, like just the whole truth. And in any case, I'm going to leave that in the description box if I can find it, because you will understand what I'm saying here. You wouldn't know it. You just wouldn't know it if you don't have boundaries, if you're an innocent-like person. And I've discussed this before. There are people out there who don't have any empathy, or you cannot trace the amount. Barely. And when they get in trouble and they feel bad for it, it's because they got caught. When they see they live to watch you suffer. That's hard to take in, isn't it? When you're hurt, they feel better. As Proverbs says, right? The wicked go to sleep well when they know they've done something to someone. And it's just the opposite way, the other. I find that quite evil. And that was from the wisest man that ever lived other than Christ. As just a pure man, that was the wisest. So we know his sayings are true. So just imagine this. Our society is breeding out, Western society is breeding out, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen in other cultures, it sure does. It breeds out NPD. NPD may come from abuse, the personality disorders that harm other people, okay? Is it our internet and our, constant admiration? Not really. I mean, partly yes, but we're talking narcissism, and those can take many different traits that are the same, right? But there is a group of people out there that represents about 10% of our population. Every 1 in 10, every 10%, every 1 in 10 person out there is this way. If you don't have good boundaries, you may think all of a sudden you found the best friend, the best boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever it is. This happened to me. It was long distance though. And like I had been with narcissistic women, traits, right? Because I was always picking the wrong women. And but this one was different. And what happens at first is it's evil, okay? It can happen in a number of ways, and they're what they call master manipulators, right? They may message you first. You may meet just by chance, but you know, the way you met is probably many times not by chance, but you thought it was by chance, right? Do you know that they will go as far as setting many intricate traps? They may set something at your door. It could be a package. Oh, I didn't mean to put that at your door. You know, it's just like thinking like a thief, right? They bump into you. They may be wearing the same clothes. They want to identify with you first. So if they can do that, you know, all of a sudden, hey, maybe I found the one, right? And like I really warned you at the beginning to, if you think so, if you think you have, and for me, I was completely willing to let the red flags, I knew the red flags from the beginning, but I let them go because I was lonely. I was in a lot of pain, physical pain, and it was nice to have someone to talk to you a lot, right? And to feel like, you know, there was a lot of things in common, and it turns out there's nothing in common. But they may target you first. So I say to you, if you think you have, watch out for those red flags. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to love bomb you. They're going to say all kinds of things. Say it's in an email or in a message. They're going to give you a lot of different emojis and stuff like that. It may be different when you're talking to them on the phone or in person, though. It may be not like that, right? They don't show that same, I don't know, you know. I never had a relationship up close, you know, for a long period of time, like seeing face to face. I haven't. And I know I would not tolerate that stuff in person. It's much different when it's online. It's just a different dynamic altogether. So they're going to love bomb you. They're going to make it seem, they're going to overwhelm you with dopamine. They know that. It's just like Facebook when you get a like, right? Like I said to you before. So I've read the stats. When you get a like on a video, in units, you can measure dopamine in the brain in units. And the highest unit you can ever get, I believe, is crystal methamphetamine. Cocaine is 400 units. Getting a like on Facebook is 400 units. Just imagine that. So what they're doing is they're going to start flooding you with dopamine, you know, the feeling of love. You think, oh, I found love. You know, this person loves me. They love me so much that they're going to do this. Who knows how long they might do it. You know, no one NPD. I'm just going to say these evil people. Just think about it. From the first time you ever speak, And if you met by chance, then it starts building in their mind, right? They may like you at first. They may actually really like you. I think yes, they idealize you, and they may think all these awesome things too, but they have an agenda. They either want to suck your resources, they want sex, they want admiration and attention. As long as they can keep, if they love bomb you and you're reciprocal, you give them all the attention, you always, you're basically talking to each other for long periods of time, and there's like no breaks, right? And this didn't happen with me because it was long distance, but where are your whereabouts and all those stuff. They want to know where you are and all that type of stuff. That never happened to me. It happened with other people though, earlier back in my 20s and teens, but so that's what they're going to do. They're going to love bomb the heck out of you, and what that's going to do is it's going to wipe out those red flags, because you're so taken back. Oh, maybe I can help them with that. Maybe I can just overlook that for now because this feels so good. And I read this, and it is true that if they notice that you notice the red flags, that what they'll do is they'll increase the love bombing. And what their intention is to have sex with you as quickly as they can. Why? They'll get you in bed as quickly as they can, to try to erase something that could cause a problem between each other. So when they sense that you sense something, they'll try to erase it with sex to form a tie with you. That's what it is. That's the first part. That's how they hook you and make you feel guilty for it. And what they plan to do in your mind is implant that in your mind. Oh man, we had sex together. They're doing all this stuff. They're all this crazy stuff that's just not normal to you. And when it comes to, approaching someone in a fair manner, saying, hey, can we talk about this? Or, I can't take any more of this. If you continue this, I've got to leave. In any case, they'll try to smooth it over with sex, and then they'll guilt trip you for it, right? So there's, to me, part one, and that is just a small little part of it. Pardon me. Maybe I'm not the best at explaining this, but I never had a close-up relationship with someone with NPD. That lasted like 1, 2, 5, whatever amount of years. And to tell you the truth, I know I would never get caught with that much. There's only so much I can take. Not to say that I can't get trapped, because I did. Because when it's on the internet and the phone and all that, they can use those things against you, right? To break off communication when you want to do something, right? There were many times where I warned, saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I did. I said, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to do this. Or they consistently break your boundaries until you don't have any. That's what they do. So I did have boundaries, And I still had a godliness in me, right? A love of God, a fairness of whatever, but I guess the honeymoon phase is kind of over, right? After a while, I think what they do, so let's take, for instance, I'm not so good at saying, like, because I've never dated an overt narcissist. The more covert types, I found, tried to start a lot of debates and arguments, and it was hard to get through the points to them. Covert narcissists, they're victims constantly. That's what they are. They're victims. And they never own up to those types of things. They just never do. There were many things I let fly that I shouldn't have. Things that just passed under the radar. What they try to do, covert, is they'll try to knock you down little by little. Just saying little things like, they might say something nice, but inside of that comment is referring to just the opposite. Just the opposite. I'm actually having trouble thinking of the stages, but not that they're finite stages, but for me, and I'm not the type of person who says I did this, but I really tried to help this person a lot because they were lost, right? So if you know NPD, they see they're lost, they played the sickly role, and you try to rescue them, you try to help them, well, in my case, with physical things. Oh, you don't have this? Oh, you need a printer? Here you go. Whatever it was that I felt, felt bad, and I didn't even feel like they were really thankful. And a lot of things just seemed fake. You ever get that feeling that someone is fake? I started to get that feeling. I just really did. There were a lot of, I'm just going to say, there may be a lot of arguments that start to happen. And I was always willing to come to the table, right? To try to help. But that's the last thing that they want. That's the very last thing they want. Why is that? Because they don't have any accountability. They don't care. They don't care if you're hurt. They don't care. They don't care to resolve it. They run away from it. Can you imagine? So you're entangled in this, and it's never about love. They want to deplete your resources, your admiration. They'll suck you absolutely dry of your spirit and everything that is inside of you. You'll get in debates and arguments that are so pointless, and there's never ever any accountability. And I just found from that point, things would get better, and then they would get worse. They deny things. They gaslight you. They start to, so as time goes on, they start to change. The mask starts to slip a bit here and there, right? They'll say something that's quite evidently wrong, and I found myself going and proving and actually showing them proof. I'm a lot more diligent probably with people that she ever dealt with to show the proof. Even when you show them proof, they deny it. And the further and further you get into this, the more frustrating it is. And then they can't, you might wake up one day and this person has completely changed on you. And you wonder, why is this script completely flipped? Why is it? Why did they go from saying they loved you and give me these little emojis and the type of this, to totally gaslighting you and like either ghosting you or what's it called, breadcrumbing you. And you wonder what happened. And what happened was you were onto the truth and they couldn't deal with it. They weren't getting that admiration. They weren't getting the stuff that they need to survive any longer. You weren't looking at them in the same way. And that's what happened to me. Give me a sec. They'll twist things so far that this is what you do with every day. You start to develop rumination about things. Am I right about this? Why did they do that? You start getting so upset about those types of things. They'll make it look, even if it was their behavior, like it was you, and they may even get you to apologize for that. They are the earth's evil, twisted people that don't have empathy. A lack of empathy is a dangerous person. They wouldn't stop for someone in the street to help them unless they thought it benefited them by money or something. This is most cases. Can you imagine someone that laughs when you get hurt or something like that? I cut myself shaving here. I had to put this on. They're probably laughing in the background. Even little things. These people, everywhere they go, they leave a trail of destruction behind. Can you imagine, like, people who are with them for anywhere from 3 to 20 years? People develop PTSD from them because they're being constantly lied to, cut down, physically abused maybe, but emotional abuse is just as bad as, I think emotional abuse is worse. You might understand if you clicked on this video that you go through a rumination phase. Listen, it's my hope that you turn to God, to Jesus Christ, in this mess. I was already a believer, but when this happened, and in the way that it happened, I remember when it happened, I was delving into, but listen to this. This is the antithesis of what a narcissistic personality disorder person will do to you. So we had been, she just flipped the script on me, okay, for no reason. I was very good to her, man. And it was because she wasn't getting her way or admiration, any of that. And I know the very point where it started. I never forgot where, and I never even said. I lost my point there. I know. This is the evil of them. Listen to what I'm telling you, okay? Actually, let me pace. I'm going to get my thoughts together. You want to hear this, okay? No matter what I did, I talked to my brother, I talked to my aunt, I talked to my friends outside that I have. I don't have a lot of friends, and they couldn't understand. Of course they couldn't understand because they had never been through something like that before. They had never faced evil. You'll understand what evil is when you go through a narcissistic relationship. I mean a subset of the personality disorders. Not all of them. And I'm not saying everyone does this. antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, borderline. I'm not saying everyone does that, but they certainly do. Imagine this for a second. I have injuries all over my neck, like very serious injuries that never fully heal, in my shoulder, full body CRPS-like disorder, right? The worst pain disorder on earth, adhesive arachnoiditis. So the toughest things, I get this, and then I develop what I've told you, likely myocarditis, because I had all the symptoms, but I didn't get my heart image till about a year because of other issues I was going through. And I developed a permanent gallbladder disorder that was diagnosed, and it feels like a gallstone all the time. I take colic meds, which is why you see me having trouble in here. This with my throat, difficulty speaking because my lower esophageal sphincter is much higher in tightness than most people. So I'm going through this horrific reaction. And this, I'm telling you this for a reason. This person was more interested, not only that, but I was seeking to go to assisted death at that time because of the level of pain I was going through. And they were more interested in breadcrumbing me and in trying to talk, and when they did talk, to talk very negatively. They liked it. Do you understand? They want to be able to bask in the, you see the smile on my face? This is what they're like when they see your pain. That is the definition of evil. And if anyone who knows it is obviously the people who have been through it, but it's the psychiatrists and psychologists who talk to those people. These people go out and they hurt a lot of people. I don't even know how many people have committed suicide because they lost someone suddenly. Guys, they can put you in the honeymoon phase for 3 years before they do anything. They may just flip the script on you 5 years from now. It's so evil, man. Can you imagine someone that their sole goal in life is to hurt you methodically, like a murderer premeditates a murder? I have no idea why there isn't a law in society against these people, or why these people are not hospitalized. That is my honest take on it. If you've seen what they do to other people, the covert especially, because they're covert. They play the sickly role, anxiety, oh, I have this pain and that pain. And they're trying to bring you into a spot where you feel bad for them. And no matter what you do, you cannot help them. You cannot help them. And you guys probably who have been deeply in this, and I feel sorry for women who go through this because of physical violence of men. I feel sorry for people who are in this who are abused. And women abuse men. You may not see it. Goes both ways. And from what I hear, the women are worse. I mean, not in their capacity to be able to cause harm, but they'll still hit you. I'm sure they do that. They do that all the time, but that's never spoken about. It just isn't. And not many men report that type of stuff, right? If that happened to me and then a woman hit me 1, 2, or 3 times, yeah, I would. I'd make sure. What else can I say? And then you know what they do? They want to demoralize you so bad, you cannot break that soul tie. Listen, I've studied the Bible. I love God. Studied His Word. Is soul tie a real thing? I know it's just a saying, but there is truth to it. What happens is when you have sex with someone, there's like an unspoken tie if you liked that person. And what they do is they seek to use leverage against you, right? Can you imagine someone who does that to you? I find that there are many people who would rather just be murdered than to have to go through what they did. And so that's not it. So they bring you to the stage where they discard you. And that didn't happen to me, but it was close. I saw what was happening. And at that point, I wasn't really studying the Bible. Remember, I was in all those physical states. And I was, just one day, I was looking at a YouTube suggestion, and the YouTube suggestion was tarot. And I clicked on it, right? You were not supposed to do that, but I did. I heard a similar story in someone else, like this. It started to tell me that I had flipped a script. That was the devil, man. You know, the devil tells you truth in the beginning, and then it's like half-truths, and that's what tarot is. But I started to learn through there. I gave that up, though. I actually learned through tarot that this person was really evil. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what happened. And their plan is to discard you and come back who knows how long later. Were you their best supply, the best admiration, the best resources? You know, the best person to talk to? If you were, you can be assured that they're going to try to come back. Cut them off. Don't say another word. Don't even think about it. All that rumination that you have in your head, let it play out. Talk to people, get help, turn to God, read the Bible, and then count on God to help you, to stop that rumination. I had that rumination for a while. It doesn't feel good. You know, it's like the accusations of the devil, right? Why would they do that? All this time, this person just wanted to hurt me and wanted to take away all my spirit and suck it out and them take it. This is where we are in society. This is where we are in society. If you've been through this, you sure well know that you would feel better knowing these people are off the street. They deserve to be off the street. If you've seen their full intentions, if you saw their full intentions, I think there would be laws made. But that's the thing, it's covert, right? In any case. That's why so many people go to jail who are overt and antisocial personality disorder. And, you know, I say pray for those people. You know, it's hard to look at that and say, how many are going to turn to God, right? Because, you know what, I don't even know how to speak to that. And I'll tell you the truth, I have prayed for people with NPD and other issues too. It's trauma, eh? It's trauma deep inside. Something happened to them that made them pass it on. They were so hurt that they feel like they have to hurt other people. But I'm not an expert on the issue. I have studied this. I already passed a course about this, but I'm, anyways, you know, studying the DSM and stuff like that. So I have to as an addictions counselor, and much further too. But they want to be able to in the very end. So their mask slips eventually. They can't keep it on forever. They can't keep that up. They want to be able to have you under control so they can come back around, receive that admiration. It's not unlike the devil, okay? It's very much like that. They want to be able to come back around and have sex with you anytime they want and get to be able to call on you, and you'll answer right away. I don't think so.